What up, everybody? Back again with our perimeter unit. Today we are doing our third grade mastery check. If you haven't been with us, what's going to happen is we're going to give you 3 questions, starting with the easiest one first and then working our way up to what we believe to be the most challenging. And you're going to check your mastery of what you learned during our lesson. Why do we do that? Because of this quote right here. It's okay to fail as long as you learn from it. You should be failing when you're doing math. Not getting F's on stuff, but you should be failing every single day, because through that failure, you can learn from your mistakes and get better. Not just at math, but at whatever you're doing in your life. So we're giving you these 3 questions now so you can check your mastery. If you fail, go back and learn from it. Go back, rewatch a video lesson, find something else online to help you. Okay, whatever is going to help you get better. If you get them all right, that's awesome. Give yourself a little celebration. But let's start with number 1. So number 1 says, what is the total measure around the edges of this figure? If you need a paper copy of this, you can look in the description for our video, and you can find a Google Doc there that you can either print off or do online, or you can pause the video now, solve it, and then push play to check your understanding. So to find the total measure around the edges, really what this is asking me for, that is the definition of perimeter. I want to know what is the perimeter of this pentagon. So to do that, I need to add all of my edges, or oops, there we go, get a little crazy there, or all of my sides together to find out the total. So I'm going to do that using a part-whole model. All right, there we go. I know I have 5 equal groups, and I'm looking for the sum of all of those. All of my sides or edges were equal to 8. So I can either skip count by 8. I can know that I'm doing repeated addition, which is multiplication. Oh, sorry, here you go. Here's all your lengths and widths. There you go. Which is why I love doing a visual model. I don't want you to still learn a formula for perimeter. I want you to understand what you're doing, because if you understand it, now you can say, wait a minute, I can do 5 times 8 and get the same answer. And your answer would be 40. The perimeter of this figure is 40 meters. If you got that one right, let's check out number 2. If not, you can go back and rewatch our first lesson, which is what is perimeter. Number 2 is a word problem. It says Mr. Smith needs to put a fence around the garden to keep the rabbits out of it. If his garden measures 20 feet by 40 feet, how much fencing will he need? So this is a word problem. I'm going to write my sides check strategy over here. And my statement's going to say he will need blank feet of fencing. I know I'm going to go back in my word problem. I'm going to identify anything about fencing or feet. So he wants to put a fence around the garden. That clues me into the fact that I'm probably doing perimeter to keep the rabbits out of it. His garden measures 20 feet by 40 feet. How much fencing will he need? So I know this is a rectangle because they only gave me 2 dimensions, which means I'm going to develop my plan by drawing a picture. So I'm going to draw my rectangle. I'm going to label it, okay? I have 40 feet here, and I'll make 20 feet my shorter side. And then again, don't rush through this, because you might just add 40 plus 20. Remember, perimeter is around all of the edges, so you have to label all the sides when you're doing perimeter. And then to find the sum of all those, to add them all together, I'm going to be using my tape diagram. I'm looking for the perimeter. I know I have 2 equal groups, or 2 sides that were 20. I'll label those as my width. And then I had 2 lengths that were 40. So when I add all of those together, I'm going to get a total of 120. So I will need Mr. Smith will need 120 feet of fencing to put around his garden. Otherwise, those pesky rabbits will come and eat his lettuce. Let's check out our most challenging problem here. So for this one, this isn't even in the 3rd grade standards. What this is going to do is it's going to take 2 or 3 of our skills and combine them together. Okay, so this is going to be a challenge level question, which is why it's our 3rd question. So my statement should say, what is the length of the side? So I'm going to say, okay, the length of the side is blank, inches. Okay, so I'm going to go back and look for anything about inches. He's drawn an outline of a hexagon. That's important. Okay, and it's important because it says the perimeter of the hexagon is 48 inches down here. Now it also tells me all the sides are the exact same length. So I'm going to do my best to draw a hexagon. Okay, I've never been very good at this, but I can always get better. And even though if I can't draw it correctly, I know whatever the sides are, they're all the exact same length. So all 6 sides have to be the same length, and the perimeter was 48. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to take my part whole model, and I know if I added all the edges together it would give me 48. I know that I have 6 edges or 6 sides to add up, so I'm going to split this into 6 pieces. And more importantly, they are all equal. Okay, so each of these sides, I'll label them sides, is the exact same number. This is why I love our part whole model that we use here at Instructabeats, because I don't have a formula that's going to help me solve this question, but I do have an understanding of what perimeter is. I know it's adding all my sides together, which is why I drew my part whole model. And I also have an understanding of the fact that I have 48 and I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 equal groups. This is really a division equation. If I take 48 and divide it into 6, that's going to give me 8 inches for each side. So the length of a side was 8 inches. Again, we didn't teach you a formula for perimeter. We taught you the concept of what perimeter was and then to use a part whole model to help you solve it. So for questions like this, it will be easy for you. You don't have to think about a formula. You think about, wait a minute, what's happening? I'm going to use my part whole model. How do I solve for what I don't know? Thank you so much for checking out our 3rd grade mastery check. We hope that you either got them all right or you failed a lot and you're going to learn from it to get ready and to get better at math. We really appreciate you checking us out today. Please don't forget to like and subscribe. Instructabeats out.